sword, ever so heavy. Age is a persistent foe.
Be strong, father. I shall get you treatment at once.
Serenoa, please. If I must go, at least it was alongside you, on the battlefield.
Enough of this talk. You will yet live.
I've seen scores of soldiers perish, my son. Death comes for us all. Does it not, dear Benedict?
Forgive me, my lord. I could not keep you safe.
I beg you, give the three of us a moment together.
As you wish. Eridor?
Aye.
Wolfrits are as dangerous as I feared. They must be wiped out for the good of all Glenbrook.
There is no escape, Patriot. Tell me why a royalist like you would attack Lord Symon.
Yes. Why would you threaten to tear asunder a newly restored Glenbrook?
Restored? Restored to what? The duchy killed your king and controls your land, and you've what, exactly? The collected ashes of the royal family? Those who joined the duchy thrived. Those who resisted were ground beneath their heel. The nobles and commoners have never been further apart, though beneath it all, they are bound not by the king's memory, but greed.
Perhaps, but we can unite them behind King Roland.
The weakest link of them all. The prince, who forsook his family, a ruler in nothing but name if the people speak true. The Wolford reputation stains him, and it shall be his undoing.
So that's your angle.
Enough slander.
You're blind to it, admit it. You rebuffed the Isfrosti army, curried favor with the Saintly Seven, protected Roland, and immediately installed him as king. You think yourselves above the high houses of Glenbrook, nay, above his majesty himself. Who would not want to rid themselves of such a stain?
You suggest King Roland gave the order?
Would he possess such rationality? We would not be in this mess if he did. Thus I decided to intervene, for the good of the kingdom.
So we need only kill you. That is a mercy.
Wow.
Only Benedict and I know what I'm about to tell you. I bid you listen well and remain calm. I am not your father, at least not by birth. You are the blood of our former King Ragnar.
What?
I promised His Majesty I would hide the truth from you. Forgive me. Destra was indeed your mother. That much was no lie. She was a commoner in the Crown City.
A woman of little means and low station, but possessed of unparalleled intellect and boundless affection. He would often sneak out into the city in disguise. Fate united them on one of those evenings, and they fell in love, Thus, you were brought into the world.
He wished to marry her, but her low station made that unthinkable. In time, the Royalists found out and plotted her murder.
So Lord Symon took her as his wife to keep her safe.
And so I was born the heir of House Wolford.
Sadly, your dear mother passed not long after you were born. It was she who named you. It was the one thing she was able to pass down to you. And now I leave you this.
The royal signet.
Only one of Glenbrook's royal line may wear it. I was to keep it until the time was right. And so it is now.
Father, you leave me completely unmoored. What am I to do with this unspeakable knowledge?
I leave you with a heavy burden. This I know better than any. Be strong, Serenoa. Forge her own path. Lead the people. Keep watch over him, Benedict.
I will.
No, Father. Stay with me. Please.
All this and still, you call me father. I am proud of you, my son.
Please don't go. Father! Please!
So Patriat meant to eliminate House Wolford to protect the crown.
Yes, he admitted as much himself.
I can assure you he acted alone. King Roland was not a party to the plot.
That is fortunate, yes. But the mere fact of it could tear Glenbrook apart, were it to be made known. Lord Symon's assassination must be kept secret, my lord.
You would have me say his illness claimed him then.
I thank you for your assistance, Milo. Speak not a word of this to anyone.
I shan't. For the good of House Wolford.
I cannot fathom why he thought us to be enemies. We mean no harm to the royal family.
Misplaced as his fears may be, we must stand ready to defend ourselves, in word and deed, from any who may reach similar conclusions. That includes King Roland himself.
You heard Anna. Roland didn't issue the order. What are you plotting, Benedict?
I seek only to ensure House Wolford's survival. Lord Symon was murdered. Other enemies may well be within our ranks as we speak. They must be stopped at all costs, no matter who they are.
Can I count on your continued guidance, Benedict?
Glenbrook's throne is yours for the taking. You have the claim and the might to back it up. Your Lord Father beseeched you to forge your own path and lead the people. Might you not best accomplish that if you were king?
Perhaps. But I would sooner fall upon my own sword than usurp the throne from my friend. The truth of my lineage does not leave this room. I shall keep it hidden along with this ring.
As you wish, my lord. I trust your judgment.
I come bearing a missive from King Roland. He requests your presence in the Crown City immediately. The Frosty survivors are on the move.
They leave me no time to mourn. Lead the way.
When our paths part. Okay.
Roland, Benedict, and Frederica regroup back in the capital. But what they experienced while they were away could very well alter the course of destiny itself.
Fate.
Is there something on your mind, Roland?
Serenoa. I do not know what I should do.
Did something happen in the capital?
No, that problem has been dealt with. I've made sure those damned royalists will never cause trouble again.
Was such harsh punishment truly necessary?
Of course it was. When they should have been helping to rebuild the kingdom, they instead profited off the people's hardship. And on top of that, they sought to string me up as their puppet king.
I understand, but...
You know what they told me? They said that is what Glenbrook truly is. That it must be ruled with the royalist careful mediation between the royal family and their loyal subjects. They said good kings need not think for themselves. They said my father and my brother understood that.
Even if that is true, you have the power to change it.
I tried. That is the entire reason I took the throne. But nothing has changed. No matter how many corrupt aristocrats I've cast out, this kingdom has always been broken. As Frost's invasion just ensured we could never put the pieces back together. I do not have the strength to reconcile a land and people torn apart by hatred and greed. I cannot give Glenbrook what it needs, king though I may be.
Roland.
Apologies, my friend. I should not burden you with my woes.
You burden me with nothing. But if you are struggling...
All is well. Trust me. So long as you are by my side.
Serenoa, I would speak with you before we meet with the others.
Is something the matter? I was led to believe the Rosellan village escaped all but unscathed.
Pray, look at this.
A book?
We recovered it from a band of brigands. It once belonged to the Frosty archives. It was authored by one Orlea, my mother. Inside is the truth about the Roselle. Nay, about all Norzelia.
The truth? How would your mother have that knowledge?
The Rosellan people have long passed down the secret of the salt. My mother was a chosen keeper of that history. In ancient times, the Roselle lived in the southernmost reaches of Norzelia, in a place called Centralia. It is said Centralia was on the shore of a vast expanse of salt water they called the sea. Back then, the Norzelia we know was at the bottom of that sea, but a cataclysm dried up all the water, and thus this land came to be. The salt crystallized and sank into the earth, the very earth we now walk upon.
Salt beneath our feet.
After the cataclysm, only one small lake of salt remained. War raged on and on as people fought to control it. The Roselle tried to stop the fighting by digging up a giant pillar of salt to show everyone the secret they had long kept. But Hyzant, whose power over Norzelia came from controlling the lake and the salt it produced, could not allow the truth to get out. They captured the Roselle, branded them criminals who tried to seize control of the salt for themselves, and confined them to the lake.
And what of the pillar?
Hyzant stole it and hid it inside the very statue of the goddess that towers over the source.
How can you be certain?
During the uprising, my mother broke the statue and recovered a fragment of the pillar within.
The salt crystal found in the Rosellan village. Incredible. If what you say is true, the teachings are a lie. This will shake Hyzant to its very foundations.
And we would be able to free the Roselle from their imprisonment at the source.
With so much at stake, we must be careful in what we do now. Frederica, I would ask for more time to think this through.
Of course. I have every faith in House Wolford, and in you.
That is the extent of what happened during our various endeavors. The passing of my Lord Father, the Royalist scandal, and the book that revealed the truth about the Roselle and the Salt. It is time we consider what we shall do to overcome these obstacles facing us.
I still cannot believe how quickly Lord Symon's condition worsened.
It is most devastating. Serenoa, did your father say nothing else to you? I see.
Your Majesty, what do you plan to do about the Royalists who misappropriated supplies?
As far as I've been able to discern, those involved acted out of greed and self-interest. They must all be punished.
But there are those among them who support the Glenbrook line.
Perhaps. We must make an example of them, to appease the people.
Did something else happen in the capital, King Roland?
Nothing you need concern yourself with. I must say, I was shocked to learn of that Rosellan legend.
The part about their homeland, Centralia, that sits upon a vast saltwater sea, that of the untapped salt crystals beneath Norzelia, or that, in order to monopolize the salt trade, that the pillar of salt Hyzant stole from the Roselle is, if any of it is true,
It does sound unbelievable.
The crystal from the Rosellan village?
That crystal is a fragment from the pillar within the statue of the goddess.
It fits perfectly.
Apparently, Lady Orlea penned the book detailing...
She did. She enchanted it so no one could open it, but left me the key to break the spell.
I doubt a mother would go to such lengths to lie to her daughter.
Then we agree the legend contains at least a seed of truth.
Your Majesty, we have received word that
What?
at the Grand Norzellian mines, but we cannot be sure what they are doing.
Those frosty dogs. We will speak later, Serenoa. I need you and your people beside me.
Of course.
Roland and House Wolford succeed in reclaiming Glenbrook. For one, the secret of...
all that cargo true,